Welcome to Game of Roses. This is PaceCase.
This is BachelorClues, and we've just concluded the inaugural season of Golden Bachelorette starring Joan Vassos. We got to see who she wound up with tonight.
We call her No Beds Vassos in this household now.
Yeah. Well, I wonder. I mean, we're never even going to get to see that part of their relationship. Chock was trying his best tonight to get in some kisses in front of the family.
Hope it's good.
A forced
Hope you like
watching.
the downtown.
Yeah.
But you know what, Clues? My main takeaway from this episode was The Bachelor is back, baby.
Yeah.
I spent a good portion of our live show shitting on the first Grant promo trailer that we saw, the one in front of the white blank screen.
A well-deserved shitting.
Yes, we'll go more into it on Twitter, but I feel I have to eat my words after seeing that trailer.
Yeah, the season's going to be crazy.
Which person DLP is sending? And the Grant tears? I think that's the key to a good Bachelor.
In fact, let me take this opportunity to say, I'm going to crack a brand new Topo Chico tangerine and ginger extract. Ah, that's refreshment. This is not SpawnCon. I just really love this drink.
I was like, oh, whoa, DLP plugging college football.
That's it. When they brought out the national championship college football trophy, I was like,
they just start panning.
Do you know who the audience for Bachelorette is? Well, this is not right. You shouldn't be doing this.
He can see him. There's not a man in sight. It is entirely women behind him. Yeah. I was on man watch.
No, it was
just
Chock.
For that shot.
They did that just for Chock. He was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to jack up that national championship. All right. Should we get into space?
That was, that was a little bump. But I think that Grant is going to be the male crown that heals the nation.
I think so, too. And again, I'll just say this. I've said it a couple of times on this very program. I coach players to infiltrate these games, and the players that I had on roster that I was trying to coach for Grant's season, that I'll simply say this, some of them didn't get in. And the ones that didn't get in, I was like, oh shit, these are high level, great pedigree type players. And they didn't even get callbacks. I was like, they got some heavy hitters in this season. I can't wait. Yeah, exactly.
I've been having a rough week. I think as a lot of people have, well,
True.
Not as many people as I would think, but, that trailer healed a little piece of my heart.
Yeah, we will have something to look forward to in January. Actually, a lot of stuff to look forward to early next year. We got Trader Season 3 coming out January 9th. We got Grant's season January 27th. And we got Love is Blind Season 8, the Minnesota Love is Blind, coming out on February 14th. So we will have some cause for celebration. Yeah, we'll be all right. We'll get through it. But let's jump into this pace case. Let's break down this finale and after the final rose of Joan Vassos' inaugural season of Golden Bachelorette.
We open. Joan No Beds Vassos is alone on the most beautiful final altar I've ever seen in my damned life.
Oh.
Nothing happens. We just see her. It's windy. You're like, okay, there's going to be a final rose ceremony. We get DLP entering the studio. And I literally already asked Clues this, but I was like, is this a new studio? There is new rentals at least, or new draping.
I don't know if it was or not. Maybe it was.
Brown things.
It seemed like the same one to me. And as we know of our beloved game, they ain't going to change shit if they don't have to. So I would imagine they didn't change anything here.
God.
just my 2 cents.
I don't know. There was some draping. I don't remember. We see that Grant is in the audience. Did you catch what the audience was chanting?
No. What'd they say?
I don't know.
All right.
Someone sound off in the comments. YouTube comments only. Comment wherever you want. We see DLP enters and we literally see the shot of him with entirely all women behind him. I love it. We got a fully 4B studio going on.
How do you know that? How do you know they're all 4B?
No, I mean, they're all looking at one man. So I guess it's the opposite. Yeah. And we see in the audience, we have Kathy, Susan from Golden Hour, and then Charles and Jack, who I Maybe it should be added to Golden Hour.
Ooh, I like that. A co-ed Golden Hour. Yeah.
Big cast.
I think that'd be great.
I do too.
DLP tells us.
I don't know.
Tells us, all these people are out here in the audience. We're going to check back in with Grant on his journey. Stick around for that. But first, let's get back to Joan. In Tahiti, she was blindsided by Pascal leaving unexpectedly. Will she be able to recover in time for her happy ending? Of course, she was not blindsided by it. She did not care. She was basically like, all right, well, see you later, dude.
She did not care. What do you mean? She produces tears. By the way, I also see Gary, Sandra, and Nancy, fairy godmother Nancy, in the audience as well.
Yep.
And Grant is in the building. I mean, what a tease. He only has one line. We go and we see in the document this W ship, and Joan is pondering. And she's producing tears here. Exactly. Proof of 4TRR.
Oh,
and she ITMs that she fears she's unlovable. She's got these walls. I don't know if her happy ending's going to happen. Huh?
Are you buying any of the unlovability thing?
I buy the unlovability because there's just so much, women are mostly told that their value and lovability has to do with how hot they are.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. But I'm not buying the that she is not thinking that this is going to continue.
I agree.
Chock came back.
Yes. All of this is false, in my opinion. It's false jeopardy. And you're supposed to, is she going to walk away?
That's the real reason, because in the teaser, they showed us her at the final rose ceremony.
Well, of course, they always blow their own kind of little sub-narratives throughout the story, but she says she came on this journey to find a partner. Now she's worried that it might not happen. She was lucky once with John. Why would she be able to have that luck twice? Will anybody love her again? Knock, knock. It's Nancy with the STCO. That's shoulder to cry on. Comes in, hugs her. We see Joan producing some more tears here, and Joan tells her about Pascal's self-elimination due to lack of love. It makes her feel unlovable. Nancy assures her, you are not unlovable. Joan says a lot of the John emotions are coming up in the long, hard journey, and now she's afraid she won't be able to find love. She won't be able to get that prize. If Pascal couldn't love her, then how could anyone? And Nancy says, Joan, hang on a second. Chock came back after his mom died. That says a lot about how he feels about you. And Guy is wonderful. He's checking all the boxes. Now you can concentrate on Chock and Guy and get to know them even better. This is a pre-prepared script given to her by producers, and she does this little play here flawlessly.
How dare you? Nancy is a fairy godmother STCO. This is all from her heart. They're best friends. They live in the same region.
Yeah, they live in the same region, and they have that regional friendship thing going on. I got all that.
And trauma bonded from Golden Bachelor.
Of course. Unfortunately, the producers have flown her there. The producers are sequestering her in a room. The producers are telling her exactly what to say in this situation, and she does that. She delivers it pretty flawlessly here. She's making a good case for herself to maybe be the next Golden Bachelorette. We don't know what's going to happen on Charles Ling's season, but she's in there. She's in the mix, so to speak.
She's got one of the top third audience games ever. She gets to spend a few days in Bora Bora. We see then that Nancy says also, don't, give power to Pascal. You're deserving of love. You had it before. You can have it again. Give yourself a chance. Let your heart heal and then make the decision.
I know. I would have loved for her to have gone, look, I know we're shooting this months before this actual event happened, but later in time, about 2 months from now, Pascal is going to give an interview where he says he wouldn't even date anyone your age. If he was the Golden Bachelor, they'd have to cast much younger. So kick him to the curb. Then we go to portion 2.
That some of her fears were correct regarding Pascal.
Indeed. We go into portion 2, and we're back in the document on that cruise ship. Joan is walking a staircase as she ITMs that these have not been smooth waters, but smooth waters don't make a good sailor. Then she reminds us that this is the Star Breeze by Windstar Cruises, and we see the beautiful logo of this commercial they're doing for Windstar. And she says they've reached Bora Bora, where we're going to have the final meetings of the families. We see Guy arrive with his suitcase. Joan ITMs that she says, we also see Chock arrive with his, and then Joan ITMs that she sees a future with both of them. She has to decide which is best for her, but she needs input from her kids. The all-important meeting of the family will seal the deal for her, and we see her kids then group debriefing. She shows up upon seeing the kids, gives one of her patented Joan Vassos full mouth aperture looks of glee. That was not my faceplay of the game.
Yeah, almost there.
Almost.
She gives good glee, excited glee.
Yeah.
Full aperture all the time. The daughter says it's weird not talking to Joan every day.
Mm-hmm.
Do you talk to your mom every day?
About every 30 minutes. Absolutely not. But you know who does? I believe my sister does. So I can't knock it.
What?
Yeah,
Whoa.
on almost daily basis. Joan then comes in. She says these guys are going to be meeting her daughter, Allie, Allie's husband, Noah, her oldest son, Nick, and his fiance, Brooke. Joan then with her family tells them that there were 24 guys. Now she's down to 2. Guy is an ER doctor who's an amazing family man, super honest and reliable, smart and handsome, and no mention of a restraining order here at all from her. Then there's Chock from Wichita, Kansas. He's kind, a caregiver, and he's up first. She says it's a lot harder. And at this age, it's a lot to deal with. She thought a lot about their dad. She keeps calling him dad. This is John, the ex-husband who is now no longer with us, who pled guilty to 3 counts of felony money laundering type crimes, white collar financial crimes. And she's honoring his...
No one is perfect.
No, I agree with you. And she's honoring his memory by having another person in her life now. And if she loved their dad so much, could she fall in love again? Someone told her that you don't have to let go of loving John to love somebody else too. That gave her the freedom to fully engage in this process. And she ITMs that her kids seeing her with somebody else is going to be different. And she worries that it's going to be hard for them. And now we see Chock. He shows up. He's on the cruise ship. What's up?
No Kringle. Could you believe
he Kringles
it?
Later.
Yeah, but nothing for the fam.
They're the parents. You got to bring fucking Kringles for kids now.
What else is not here is a hooju. I thought there was a real missed opportunity here. You fake the person out.
Yeah.
They leap off the boat.
We ain't going to see it in the Goldens, unfortunately. But Chock does get a kiss here at this little meeting. Then he ITMs that it's a big day to meet the family. They sit down and we get this one-on-one time with Joan and Chock. Chock's ready for the tough questions. Let's find out if the kids are ready to meet him. They walk in, hugs all around. Chock ITMs that he wants Joan for the rest of his life. And he's not prepared for it to be over potentially. The group debrief, Chock tells him that his family loved Joan on their meeting of the family. And then he then says that he did something at his meeting of the family and he's going to do it here too, by God. Chock's going to jack up this meeting of the family. And he takes her and kisses her right in front of them. This is a kiss. It's a strange kiss. I wrote devoid of feeling. Even Joan says, ha ha ha, get it out of the way. It wasn't quite a marking of territory. It was more an attempt to validate the integrity of the relationship or something like this. I'm not quite sure.
This forced public kiss in front of Joan, the very moment that he meets her whole family, was my error of the game. I honestly blocked it out that he had done this, I guess, with his family. And maybe, and I don't know how he doesn't see that it might be different, coming from him rather than coming from Joan. Yeah. Really an odd move here in a otherwise pretty solid performance.
I agree. It was tied for an error, and just to have some variety, I'll give it to the other error later on. But I found this to be a pretty egregious error as well. And I wasn't the only one. What's that?
Variety is the spice of life. So why would I not want that?
The spice melange.
Spice is power.
Spice is power. You talking about Dune now? You gonna watch that show?
Yeah, what was the first line? Of course I'll be watching it. Are you kidding me? Dune 2 was tied with Challengers for my favorite movie of the year.
Wrote. Dang good. Anyways.
More is more.
You
can't wait for that Harry Potter show.
Oh, fuck. I can't wait for that. You weren't the only person, by the way, who found this to be an error. Neither was I, because we cut to a shot of Nick, Joan's son, recoiling in disgust.
Oh, no.
And this look of progeny repulsion was my
Face play of the game.
No.
the fact that the producers put that shot in too, it's a little knock. It's a little dig at Chock. It's like, you can't have a perfect season. Fuck you. We ain't gonna get
No,
it to
there
you.
were multiple cringe faces. They didn't have to have this in the edit, you know?
Correct.
He was producing tears here, though, for TRR. We get to one-on-one time between Chock and Nick and Brooke, the son and fiance or wife, and we get this time attack. Could you guys be in love? Chock immediately love level 4s, and the son really steps up here. I would say he's probably my Sweetnum's Familial Award player, the glasses son. He says that Joan, he hypes up Joan so much.
Oh, I have a different one. I have a different one later. A standout familial player.
Oh, shoot. I take it back. No, for variety's sake.
Sure. Yeah.
The glasses son.
Variety is the spice of life. Fear is a mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration.
Yourself, Liz. I loved how he was hyping up Joan, though.
Yeah.
Saying that Joan took their family from broken to where they've never been so happy in their life.
Ultimate
drop
happiness.
The mom book, Joan. Yeah. Let us know how to get to that level.
I can tell you how.
What?
Psychedelics.
Okay, check.
And transcendental meditation. There's one-on-one time with Joan now and her daughter, Allie. Joan says she felt the kids' grief in the unfair, rip-off piece of crap that was their father's death, she calls it. She couldn't fill that vacuum after he died. And then we see some 2-on-1 time with Nick, his wife, and Chock. Nick says he has high expectations of the guy that's going to replace his dad. And Chock says, oh, hey, I may be jacking up your mom, but I ain't trying to jack up the memory of your father. I ain't here to do a jacked up replacement. Chock will do a lot of things, but he's not here to jack up a replacement of a father figure. Therefore, I'm just here to love her and make her happy. I'm going to jack her all the way up to a happiness level 270, but I am not going to jack up the memory of your father. Nick says he is
straight Chock talk. I'm never going to jack up the memory of your father. I might, force you guys to look at me as I make out with her. Things she's barely agreeing to, but I will never jack up that memory.
Yeah. For example, I'm not going to jack up the memory of your father. I'm a different guy. For example, did your father ever force you to watch him kissing your mother in front of them to prove that the relationship was actually real, even though you'd only been dating for 2 months? I don't think so. You see, Chock was a different kind of jacker-upper. Nick, then I
didn't even see any oak trees outside. You guys don't even have them.
Yeah. You didn't plant a tree for that man? I'm a different man.
I'm a different man. We got them in Kansas.
Yeah. You know what I saw? We planted a tree, jacked up this tree and just threw it straight into the ground in honor of, my prior love. And what we did see was a hawk came to land in the branches of that tree. I believe that was your father trying to jack up the memory of my past love. Something along these lines. Nick then ITMs that Chock seems fantastic, seems to genuinely love his mom. Then we see this one-on time with Nick and Joan. And he says, I like Chock. I'm kind of skeptical, but good so far. Joan says she was nervous that they'd be mad at him for moving on.
We get a sun blessing and glow.
Yeah. Blessing and a glow. His heart is full to see her that happy glow. And they love level 4 each other here. And Nick even has this kind of nice moment where he's like, we're proud of you for doing this because it's so courageous. You're always telling us to take risks and we're seeing you actually do it. Fantastic little moment here between mom and son.
And it's kind of the theme of the episode of like putting yourself out there to find love.
Yeah.
Love it. They go outside on the little bench, get a little kiss, and we cut back to DLP. Nothing like family. Next up, we get a Daisy Kent dollop commercial. Did you see this?
I did. But everything's better with a dollop than Daisy. Doesn't need any lines. She doesn't even need to be doing the commercial. She's engaged to a billionaire. These people. Did you see this Madison Pruitt post that she put out the other day? By the way, It was this
No.
post about how she's persecuted and all Christians are going to be persecuted and you live these hard lives and you just have to keep going. She's doing this. She's saying this from her podcast studio in her mansion, paid for by her billionaire husband. And I'm just like, how persecuted is she? I don't understand this. Do I not know what that word means? I think I do, but I don't, maybe not.
She is persecuted. She talked about the Satanists who confessed cursing all Christians. If that's not persecution, then I don't even know what that word means.
Oh my God. I just am endlessly entertained by her entire existence. Portion 3 begins.
Yeah.
DLP is welcoming us back, saying that Joan has this impossible decision. And here's Chock's final date. We see Chock pondering off a dock. This is Chock's dock.
Chock dock.
I'm going to do internal Chock talk off Chock's dock. He ITMs that this is the final date before proposal, and he doesn't take this lightly. He has some champagne, some fruits set up. It's a mi casa, and she comes to his home. He ITMs that he wanted love. He just didn't know how bad he wanted it. She comes into his house, kiss, kiss. We get some ITMs being crushed. He says if she picks Guy, he pops the champagne. He's ITMing, letting her know how he feels. He toasts to how good it was to meet her family, kiss. And then he tells Joan he got emotional. He didn't want her to see that. It was all from the heart, though. And she's like, you don't have to put up your guard around me. You could be who you are. And she says if she hadn't gone through the hard days, the good days wouldn't seem as great. Chock says, I jacked up a gift for you. And he reaches behind the couch and he pulls out a card for her. And she reads it. And he says, you have to read this, then I'll explain it. Joan, to our beautiful life together. We've been dreaming of spending time in New York City. I promise to love you and make you feel safe the rest of my life. Love, Chock-a-clock. And there's a keychain in the shape of a heart. He says it's a symbol of his love and commitment to her, and he wants to put the lock somewhere. Is it a keychain? I thought it was a lock.
This is a Chock lock.
Oh, did I say
Don't
keychain?
disrespect the Chock lock. This Chock lock, promising to guard and protect Joan Vassos' heart by Chock, was my play of the game.
The Chock lock.
There wasn't a lot of play.
What's that?
There wasn't a lot of play, but I like the Chock lock.
I did too. The Chock lock was also my play of the game. Anytime Chock has the opportunity to be on camera, he is using it to go above and beyond. He's got something planned. He's got a little gift. He's got a little ism. He's got something. He's never coming empty-handed. And it just shows you that he is a high level player. He understands that, like, if I'm on stage, I'm fucking presenting. I'm going to be giving you something for the producers to use.
And they're all going to be things that rhyme with my name. That's, keeping it going.
There should have been a little miniature clock in the center of the heart. That would have been good. This is a Chock clock lock. What? What did he say?
He then says his signature line, I'm so crazy about you. I want to marry you. I love you. This probably should have been the play, but whatever. This was a precog into a love level 4, into a kiss.
Now, he continues, though, saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. And Joan is ITMing. It's the first time somebody said those words to her since John was alive. She's excited. She feels like a different person, but she doesn't say it back. She won't say it till the end of the journey, but he keeps at her. I love you. Chock loves you. Hey, did I mention Chock loves you? How about you? He's trying to extract this, and Chock's incessant attempt to extract a level 4 from Joan Vassos was my error of the game. He's got this in the bag. He's got it in the bag.
He can't stop saying it. He's been holding back.
But he even comes in an ITM. I have this, by the way, mistyped. It says Chock ITMs that he put all the chips on the table, but she didn't love level 4 him back. That's always a big concern when you love level 4 somebody and they don't love level you back. He hopes it's coming, blah, blah, blah.
He says, this Chock lock is going to be attached to my Chock Cock the first time we make love.
You've heard enough Chock talk. Now you need to see some Chock cock. Look, I mean, you know, I think the kiss thing and this, what I'm saying here with the love level 4 extraction attempts, they're, you know, two pieces of the same coin, really.
No,
same
look,
cloth.
The
I
internet
should say.
agrees with you. They are saying Chock is too much.
Yeah,
but
he presses too hard.
I whatever. I don't know.
And especially in this game, like, especially somebody like Joan, no beds Vassos, you know, she's taking shit slow and she's playing by like hardcore rules of I will not say this. As he's saying it, they cut to her fucking face and she's just like,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, she tells us sacred word defense like the whole season that she's going to make it. And honestly, her finally love level 4ing, it does have a bigger impact, I think, when you save it for that moment. And it was almost my play of the game.
Interesting. I don't know if I agree if it has a bigger impact, but I just thought that Chock was doing too much here.
I don't like to see it, but
right.
I don't know. Like, as a person who has felt love, but has not wanted to say it, and then when you can finally say it,
yes,
there's a relief. I can identify with the Chockster here.
Interesting.
Not, you know. We then see Guy's meeting of the family, and Guy is loading that love level 4. He is loading that precog. Guy is playing by the book. There's no flair to Guy's play style, but it is almost as if it is a program. He's
journaling as well. I always like to see a player journal.
Yeah, well, I do want to see those journals.
Me too. He says on an ITM his intentions are to get on a knee, which is scary, but he thinks he's the right person for her. She walks a path in the rain, holding an umbrella. Anytime the weather is inclement, they will have you out in it 100%.
It's great.
Joan says today Guy is supposed to meet her.
Is sobbing in the rain. It's a beautiful shot.
They pushed him out there. Joan says today Guy is supposed to meet her family, but she woke up thinking about the Chock date. Chock's clock, Chock's cock, and hearing that he loves her and wants to marry her, she realized she found love. And
that's
the head in the box at this moment is Hakeem Moulton doing a beautiful Hakeem Moulton faceplay, reacting to this. Oh, full eye, full mouth aperture. Just thought I'd throw him a bone. Joan ITMs that she knows what she has to do. Knock, knock on his door. Chock can hear that knock, knock on Guy's door from across the dock at 3:00. He laughs. Guy laughs.
Doesn't realize what's happening.
Yeah.
And I love Cleveland's his reef.
Yeah.
Where do you think he realizes it? He should have realized it from the knock knock, but
absolutely. This is never a good sign. Never. The day before or the day of the meeting of the family, if the lead shows up for any reason, it's always bad. If you don't get to that final rose ceremony, if they come to you before that, you're fucked. And he doesn't know it. It's just a lack of, it's like low game IQ, basically. He's like, I'm happy to see you. Check out my beautiful reef. And she's like, yeah, it's great. They sit down. He scoots his journal to the side and she says, well, we're down to the last 2. And she says, I put my heart and soul in the journey and I hoped we'd end up where we are with 2 left. It became real for me at Hometowns. That's where I started to picture a life with you. We had a great date last week and today you're supposed to be my family. But my biggest open fear is that
I think he knows at least at that point.
Yeah, he's like, okay, yep, all that seems right. And then she's like, but I have strong feelings for one person, and it's scary. And the person that she has these fears that she's gonna have to send somebody home, and she says, my heart belongs to someone else, which is Chock. She should have said Chock.
I think they think it's like being more sensitive to not say the name, but it's like, I'm not stupid.
It's Chock. Yeah, exactly. Guy closes his eyes here.
This closed eye play by Guy was almost my face play of the game because he really keeps him closed for a long time.
Yeah.
Like the reality, you can't even take in the reality. And Joan Love level 1's him. I saw you at every rose ceremony. I wanted to spare you. He produces tears. And then Joan STCO's Guy.
Yeah.
And then he says, it felt so good today. I was ready to let it all out. You're changing your mind? Is there a chance?
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
No. Don't.
He also
That's a
postmortem
mini-hair.
love level 4s her here. He goes, I fell in love with you. I was ready to let it all out. Not what I was expecting. And she's like, you have to go all in or you might leave something on the table. She's like, you did the right thing. And they get to the end of this and she says, it feels so wrong and I'm so sorry. And he goes, I know we would have been happy together. This would be rough to see if we didn't know about the restraining order. We see Charles in the box looking sad. That was kind of a nice little moment. And the guy TMs that he let it all out. He was ready. And Joan walks away into the rain to sad orchestral music. She ITMs that she can't help but feel guilty. He was so happy to see her and she didn't want to hurt people. It's a hard line to walk, but her heart belongs to the Chock. And then Guy, the producers force him to go out onto his deck as it's raining and just stand there in the fucking rain and stare into space, getting drenched.
Yeah.
Stop.
So good.
We almost got it. Just stay out there another 45 minutes and then we'll be done.
The ITMs, I feel heartbroken. I feel nothing. We pull back and we see Guy is backstage watching a little TV and there's a DLP voiceover. When we come back, Guy gets the first heartbreak hot seat, and it's pretty standard. I felt love and can do it again.
You know what, though? That shot of him backstage watching the thing, I thought it was a sign of disrespect to some degree. Generally, what they do is they come out of that piece of the document and Guy is already sitting on the hot seat having just watched it. This is like they got him creeping around in the guts of the studio, like in the back with some dudes like pushing a broom behind him or some shit. And you're like, where the fuck is he? What is going on?
I mean,
here?
they do that sometimes where like, we have this person to come in.
But
later,
usually it's in a contentious situation where it's a villain coming back in. They want to make it seem like the villain is not being given any kind of respect, basically, at least that's how I took it.
I don't know. I'm like, I feel like there's some sort of like veneer of respect over it of like, oh, you don't need to watch this whole thing. We'll just bring you up for this part. They did it with that Charlie O'Connell finale, which I thought of a lot during tonight's episode.
Yeah.
Where they had him break up with the second choice for wife 3 months after they'd been dating in a poly relationship. They did that backstage.
Yeah. Smart. But yeah, you're right. This first hot seat with Guy, basically he's saying it was heartbreaking to watch. His emotions were real. He didn't expect to feel this way, but he got so much out of the journey. At this point in his life, he didn't think he could feel true love again. And watching it, he knows that he did. And he knows he can do it again. He's making a Bachelor play here. This is give me the crown. I'm ready. Unfortunately, I think the restraining order will prohibit him from being a candidate at all. Hopefully, hopefully.
I mean, we got to have some standards. Yeah. I don't know, maybe.
I mean, there's simply no way they could say if they choose him for the next Golden Bachelor, there is no way they could say, oh, we didn't know. There's no way they could say that. Obviously, this is a year from now. DLP brings Joan out to join him.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen.
I don't think it will. She's wearing this gold dress, big applause. DLP says, you haven't talked since that day in Bora Bora. Guy gets the floor. He says, everything you saw in the show came from the heart. So, he was a slow burn. His heart was guarded. He was skeptical. He didn't think he could get where he eventually got. Watching it was difficult. There are so many emotions. He's reflected on it a lot over the last few months. He does have a question. Was there something missing? Could he have done something else? And Joan says, no, it was the opposite. You had too much. She doesn't say that, but she says she never thought she could have strong feelings for more than one person. She was getting there with him, but it comes down to time for her. He was a great guy, basically, but in that compressed time frame, her heart was with somebody else. She got further with Chock, and that's all it was. It was just a race that he fell behind in. DLP then says, it's easy to see how much
Chock
you guys
was gone for 3 days of.
Yeah, exactly. The guy who literally had a giant percentage less time than you had got further. DLP says it's easy to see how much they care about each other and he wishes Guy the best. No questions here from DLP about are you ready to find love again or anything. That means to me he's not the crown.
Quick
They're
pop.
just like,
I don't
get
think
out of
so.
Here. Yeah.
But I mean, there are comments about it online because obviously they didn't address the restraining order on the show.
Of course.
We come back to the document and Joan is on a boat pondering about John, but that today is the first day she didn't feel sad. She felt happy about the future. She's in this white dress with this like floral top thing on top of it. Maybe my favorite outfit. But I also loved her neon green outfit. Chock loads this PTC that he never thought he would precog again after Kathy.
Chock never had a precog thought again. Chock precog? Chock think Chock might precog. I don't know why he's nothing like that. It's just in my head.
I think that's like part of why it is funny. I don't know. Because he's very mild-mannered.
We cut to Chock jacking up a suit as he ITMs that he never thought he'd be proposing again after Kathy. He's like, I think it's the most difficult times in your life are in your 60s, 70s, and 80s to meet somebody incredible. But I found my partner in crime. And then we see Joan floating on a boat by herself out to a little island as she's ITMing.
She's Titanicing herself. I love this. Feminist queen.
She ITMs that she's at the right place. She's in love with Chock, wants to spend the rest of her life with him. He makes her see a future again. And that's the most important thing. Yeah, I mean, I would point you to astral projection again. I would point you to that deep meditation where
Chock,
you can see the future, the past, the present, and alternate realities. You can see a lot more than just the future, Joan.
I gotta say, this final rose ceremony was so beautiful. I think it's one of the most beautiful altars I've ever seen. I love that both of them approach solo on a boat. We get Chock coming up. It looks like 007 coming off this boat.
It's a double path of pain, basically. There's the boat ride that is a path of pain in and of itself. Then when you come off the boat, you have to walk the literal path of pain up to the actual altar.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but
please,
I wish they hadn't had DLP at the entrance to the path.
What? I can't believe it either.
But I just he looked like Chock just looked like 007 coming off the boat. And I thought it would have been so cool if he just came off the boat and you just see him approach Joan.
He comes up in a diving out.
Just outfit, sweeps her off her feet or something.
He fucking emerges from the waters. Chock's here. Glug, glug, glug.
I got some more locks for you.
Yeah. I've been scouring the bottom of the ocean. Chock found some seashells for you. Chock made a necklace out of seashells for you, Joan. Chock's gonna bring you gifts from the ocean, Joan. Sea gifts from the bottom down to the sandy floor. Chock's been down there scraping it with his knuckles, Joan. He's just found treasures, Joan. You need to see that. You need to see.
You need to receive my treasures.
Chock says it's a big day.
So many sea treasures. But instead we have a DLP check-in. Where he loads level 4.
He says it's a big day. DLP's like, what do you mean? And he goes, she means the world to me. He's just carrying armfuls of pearls and sea moss and shit. I found these. Do I get to keep them? They were on the bottom of the sea floor. I believe they're mine. You just see him
in the Pirates of the Caribbean thing where they're walking on the sea floor. He's sure held down by locks. He can walk the floor.
He says
that would have been good.
She means the world to me. It gets better and better. I never thought I could feel this way again. I'm in love. Chock then walks the path of pain alone. He ITMs that he's nervous about the proposal because he hasn't heard level before from her. He's got some doubt, some apprehension. Then he appears before her at the final altar, gets a little kiss. And if you get a kiss on the lips when you come to the final altar, you have won, period. Which we know that is what's conveyed here. And he says, I stand here in front of you today with an array of emotions. I'm happy we're in each other's lives. It's been a magical journey. You're the most giving, selfless woman I've ever met. As we look forward, we need to look back. Now we're talking, Chock. Time is an illusion. Chock will honor John by loving you every day. And you will never be invisible to Chock. I will love you every day and look into those gorgeous eyes. I can't believe it's happening. I love you, and I want you to be in my life. And then Joan has her own speech. 1.5 years ago, she decided she needed love back in her life from their first date in Disneyland. She thought she saw a future with him. That's astral projection, which was a first for her in a long time. Then his mom died and he left, and she was worried he wouldn't come back. And that's when she knew she couldn't do this without him. She felt like they could take care of each other and he would never hurt her. They are living proof that no matter what life throws at you, there is still hope. Even at their age, she has waited for this moment to tell him, I love you. Love level 4 from Joan Vassos. Finally, at the culmination of the inaugural season of Golden Bachelorette, we get a little kiss here. Good. It did feel good, I got to say. Chock love level 4s are back. Some more kissing. And he's like, I got one question for you. I've been waiting forever to do this. And this is Chock getting down on one of them old knees. Will you marry me? And she accepts. None of that is even remotely like him.
Sparkler. It's one of my favorite treasures.
I found a bit of shiny metal at the bottom of the sea. I fashioned it into a ring. Yeah, maybe you'll wear it for the rest of your life. We get the standard kind of shots here. Kissing. We're engaged. And then she says there's one more
Neil
thing.
Lane is just relegated to the emotions box now.
Yeah, he was in the audience. I saw him out there. The diamond demon looking at the gleams. Joan says there's one more thing. Will you accept this final golden rose? Yes, I will. Chock gets that final 0-pointer. We get a kiss, and Chock says he knows Joan and Kathy are looking down on them. John and Kathy, sorry, are looking down on them, wishing them the best. Joan then whips out her phone, does a FaceTime with her mom. Mom, I'm engaged to Chock. And Mary's like, oh, you're a nice looking couple. And then they
her
did
going,
this.
oh, was so good.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty funny. Her reaction. Then they float away on the little boat together as A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes begins playing. This is a song that was originally written and recorded for a little movie called Cinderella back in whatever that was, 1950, maybe early 50s.
Oh.
It's a big Disney property, obviously, which also this is ABC, owned by Disney, et cetera, et cetera. We get a kiss.
Oh,
Joan
I
says,
definitely knew that today.
fuck, no shit. They got in Disney and ESPN. All of that is owned by Disney. Obviously, Disney is. So Joan says it was a perfect day. Never thought she'd feel.
Look, I think SpawnCon is great. I think SpawnCon can add to the dates and stuff. That Barbie date, I'll never stop thinking about.
Because that's the right audience.
But when
That's the right audience. Everybody who watches Bachelor wants to go see Barbie. No one who watches Bachelor wants to watch college fucking football playoffs.
No. In fact, I wrote it in my notes as NFL and I was corrected that it was college football when I was watching this.
Disney does not yet own the NFL, nor do they own college football, but they do own ESPN. Joan says it feels good to love level 4. We get a kiss. DLP is looking especially sinister in the studio when they cut back to him, and he congratulates Joan and Chock, and they'll celebrate in the next segment and get a sneak peek of Grant's season. We come back to the studio in the next portion. He welcomes them for the second hot seat. They emerge happy. Everybody's cheering. We see Neil Lane. DLP congratulates them and then forces her to do what he forces all. This is how you know he's a true Dark Lord. Let's see that
to me,
sparkler.
This part is hard to watch. Let me see that sparkler. And then saying Chock did pretty good. It's like
Yeah. Chock didn't do shit.
We're just like,
Chock did
Aaron
nothing.
Brady, second season Bachelor, bought his own ring, wrote the check. We saw it.
That was the only one who did.
Chock, another embarrassment in a line of 20 to 30 people who have not. No one else has bought the ring, at least in document.
Yeah, exactly. Not even Firestone. The real millionaire didn't even do it.
Don't get me started on Firestone. Do you see what Jen Chef tweeted?
No.
Today?
What was it?
Oh my God.
Is Firestone going full one way?
No, it was his ring winner.
Oh, well.
He definitely,
Lorenzo Borghese, you want to see some full one way shit? Get on Lorenzo Borghese's Instagram. That is the wildest thing I've ever seen.
I unfollowed every single person that I saw was following a certain number of accounts that I couldn't conceive of a way that it was journalistic, except for two. No. Yeah. 4 accounts.
Yeah. I'm not even
2
saying.
of them are your family members.
Oh my God. Look,
Well,
Borghese
no, what is your mom? What is her
it's not even just about
podcast?
who he's following or his comments or anything. He's making full ass posts with tidal waves of captioned text all about his going one way. If you know what I'm saying. Joan says here, it feels good to finally be able to share their love and their story. Chock takes him back to Bora. Chock says, it takes me back to Bora Bora. And he's like, I'm nervous like I was on the first night, but I couldn't be happier. And I want the world to know it. I want to tell the world and all the fans that Joan was classy and she gave respect to all those other guys. I'm proud of her. And that's one of the reasons I fell in love with her, in case you didn't know that. And then Joan talks about finally being able to love level 4. DLP gives them a literal Dark Lord's glow. You're both glowing. He almost looked right in the fucking camera.
Yes. He looked into my soul.
Yeah. I think that was
for us.
It was coded speech for us and us only.
I agree.
We hear you, Dark Lord. He brings up some happy...
What radicalized you? DLP's glow.
He brings up some happy couple weekend photos of them drinking coffee and kissing. I guess that's all they do on their happy couple weekend.
I love this statistical information that Chock reveals here, that the happy couple trips, they had 5 of them and they were 4 days each. I was like, oh, that's a long weekend.
Yeah, he's revealing too much. The producer's like, shut the fuck up. He says
Chock's
they cooked
going
a lot.
in a lock now.
Yeah. Chock's going rogue. Chock's going rogue. We need a producer out there ASAP. He's giving away trade secrets about the number of days and number of hours that they are allowed to spend together on the happy couple weekends. And then he's like, we cooked and played crossword. And then the producers are like, do not tell them we allow crossword in the happy couple weekend. And he says it's a great opportunity to get to know the other person. DLP says you were expressing yourself in a unique way before you love level forward. Let's take a look at this montage. And it's a montage of Chock saying he's crazy about Joan 175 times.
I loved this.
It was pretty good. It was pretty funny.
He did say it a lot of times.
Yep.
And then DLP. I mean, this one was a jam. This was a jammed in
crowbar.
At least when they do Kardashians, it's like, it makes sense. It's reality TV.
Yes. I thought he was going to angle because he's like, and Joan, we learned that you're a huge college football fan. I thought he was going to be like, I don't know if you know this. I used to play football. All right, we'll be back.
We're sending you to a game.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be some little throwaway thing. Then he fucking literally lays out, this year, college football is expanding to 12 teams. The college football playoffs are expanding to 12 teams. December 20th on ESPN. And then they fucking pull out and they have the national championship college football trophy sitting next to him. And I'm like, who the fuck? I just wrote in all caps, wrong audience. Waste of time.
I can't believe after preempting us with the NFL all season, they're putting the NFL ad in the middle of their happy couple reunion hot seat. College football, whatever.
It's fucking wild. It's like, you know, if you presented this game differently, Bachelor, I mean, you might have a shot to get some crossover in this. If you presented it like the sport it was, maybe. But they don't. They do the opposite. They say this isn't a game.
There is even a way to do this, though, like that is not such an obvious ad. Like, be like, okay, we're sending you to this, or here's pictures we took of you at this game with Ronnie the Duck or whatever.
Ronnie the Duck.
One of the mascots.
I mean, the Oregon Ducks is a team, but I don't think their mascot is called Ronnie.
Say less.
Portion 8
I
begins.
really don't like that you said you're going to start watching sports more. I'm not.
What do you mean? I have to. I got to do something while I eat my lunch. Portion 8 begins.
There's Love Island.
No, but I do that for work at this point.
But you can pleasure watch the seasons that you're not doing for work.
What seasons are those? If I'm watching it, I'm going to be doing it in Clues Corner. Which, by the way, join me in Clues Corner if you're not already there, where you can watch along with me Love Island Season 6, which is, I don't know. It's, I would say, one of my favorite single seasons of any media I've ever watched. Scripted, reality TV, anything. It's fucking amazing.
And then not only do they tease us about this NFL thing that has nothing to do with what we're here for, they then tease us with Grant again. I was like, come on.
Get to it if you're going to get to it. DLP
Get to it.
asks,
You only get
what they
one
want.
tease, not every commercial break.
Yeah, it was a little overdone. DLP asks what they want people to take away from their story. And Joan says, if you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, everybody deserves to have love. You can have a second chance. Go out there, take action. Chock says, keep your eyes and ears open and take risks. And DLP says,
And never
everybody's rooting
stop
for you.
scraping.
Yeah. If you have a body of water near your home, don't be afraid to dive into the depths and rake the sandy floor with your knuckles to find hidden treasures.
If you're
DLP
looking
says,
to get jacked up or jack off, you gotta take action.
whoa. He's like, Joan Vassos did not have beds in that fantasy suite, but Chock did get jacked up and jacked off. DLP says everyone is
We
rooting.
didn't need no bed.
DLP says everybody's rooting for your happiness, including your family. They're all here in the audience, including Boomer, a child who screams, "We love you, Joan!" And Boomer was my Jorge Moreno bystander of the week. And my Sweet Numb's familiar player of the week.
I forgot the boat driver was my
Jorge Moreno, bystander of the week.
Oh,
I
yeah, that's a good
didn't
one.
see any other bystanders.
Yeah,
Well,
I forgot about that too.
shoot, there were bystanders.
Who else was
Whatever,
there?
it's the boatman. The audience.
Yeah, I felt even bad about calling Boomer my bystander. I don't think that counts. I
I
think
mean, I
you're
thought
right.
that was
I think it's the
Your
boat guy.
familial player. Look, there's some of these lines can be hard to know. But DLP then grants this little boomer and his whole boomer family a trip to the heavens themselves, Disney in Florida, for making all of their dreams come true that they talked about in the document about how they always wanted to bring all their grandkids there. I believe Chock produces tears here. No, he does a kiss.
Yeah.
It's 1K.
And then DLP gives each of them mouse ears,
Interesting
to
kiss
wear.
moment.
which they don't do. They just are like, oh, that's funny. And then they kind of throw them to the side like, fuck you. I'm not screwing up my hair, dude. Someone else's journey is about to begin. Grant's in the audience. DLP asks him how it feels for him. He says one word, inspirational. And then he says the way you guys handled love, did your risks. You can't find love unless you take that risk. He also did the same thing. And then he says, DLP's like, we can't wait to see how the journey unfolds. And then we see the sneak peek, helicopter kisses, checking boxes, hottest bachelor ever, sailboats. He's authentic, genuinely seeking a wife and mother. Cinderella can take a backseat, fireworks. Grant is singing, rapping, and playing the piano. Grant is riding horses. And these horses in Grant's promo were my creature of the week. We see basketball, bungee, love level 4s, love level 3s, tears, emotional guys, hyperventilation, sobbing, steals, multiple steals, aggression, ass-kicking fights. Someone is crazy and evil, backstabbing, doing dirty. Grazie is there. Grant's greatest fear is being alone. Grant's lone wolf tattoo is exposed and explained. A huge mansion. He doesn't want to be lonely. Grant produces tears. Dad produces tears. There's pondering. There is he's scared of making the wrong decision. He doesn't know what he wants to do at the final rose ceremony. DLP needs to know who he wants to send in first to the final rose ceremony.
What?
That's
literally
insane.
Screamed.
Yeah, that's insane.
Also, for me, I'm like, that's because the person you're dumping goes first, except for only on DLP season, which is why it's funny. Because it's like, oh, the first person goes first, and you give them a flight to somewhere, and then she goes and hides upstairs watching you dump the next person.
On DLP season, for those who don't know, season
Didn't she
5
go
was Jesse Palmer's season.
upstairs? She was hiding from the other woman. She was watching it.
She was watching over a balcony. Ain't nobody hiding. She was out
could
there.
See her?
Yes.
I thought she was in a window.
Oh, maybe she was in a window.
No.
You might be right. I think she was in a window. Nonetheless, if you just turned around and looked, you'd see her face pressed up against the glass. They made her do a peeping Tom on the rose ceremony while DLP dumped the next player. Then back in studio.
It didn't work in that season, and I don't think they'll do it again.
I don't think so either. But he does tell us Bachelor is going to premiere January 27th. We will, of course, be covering that right here on Game of Roses starting night 1. I can't wait. And we see Hakeem in the audience with some of the Mormon wives. Gets a plug.
The Grant tier play.
Yeah.
And the tattoo being a huge plot point. I love that.
Who's your MVP, PaceCase?
For his play to game Chock, even though he did a forced kiss in front of Joan's kids, he still played a really solid game, and I like to watch him walk his walk and talk his lock, etc. Chock was my
MVP.
Chock was also my MVP. It's hard to give it to anybody else, obviously, in a final rose capacity. Whoever the winner of the season is usually is going to get your MVP. I would say maybe with the exception of like a Blake Horseman on that season, maybe he could have pulled it out as a second place finisher. But here, Chock did everything correct. He turned in a great season, and hats off to you, Chock. You were very entertaining, at least to us, getting to make fun of you with our voices. And I'm curious to see what happens next. Are we going to get, in a month from now, the announcement that they're going to be married in early January on live TV?
I hope so. Get that check.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that, but we shall see. But that wraps it up. It's been a pleasure to call this season with you, PaceCase. And I'm looking forward to all the next stuff we're about to cover coming up in January. In the meantime, we're going to be doing next Tuesday. We're going to switch our schedule back to Tuesdays and Fridays now, in anticipation of what we are sure will be Grant's season on Monday nights. And next Tuesday, we will have our top 10 takeaways from this season. How has Joan Vassos' Golden Bachelorette season affected the franchise at large, reality TV at large, and what we're expecting to see? Is there anything that they will take from the season that they've learned to make future seasons better? Are there mistakes made that they might repeat? All these kinds of things. So we hope you'll join us for that next Tuesday.
And I also dropped 3 Vanderpump Rules, season 11 episodes, Palapas, patreon.com/Game of Roses.
Palapa poppin'.
And we have some really incredible interviews lined up. So I can't wait to tell everyone what those are. Been great calling this one with you, Clues.
As always.
Praise be Dark Lord Palmer.
Please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast. Please get a friend to listen to us. And then please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast.